How's it going, Heist?
Dude,
I'm not doing an intro today because every time I do an intro, you just end up stealing it. So
what?
like, you know, copyright protection.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna DMCA my intro on your videos. So
I'm hurt.
You know,
I'm hurt by the fact that Khan knows that I didn't do an intro.
I watched the first 30 seconds of your video.
Oh, you know, I see. Okay, so I need to steal the intro and put it in later as a surprise. Well,
there's that 30-second statistic on YouTube, right? You gotta how many people are watching after the first 30 seconds. So I always make sure to watch the first
at least 30 seconds. Okay, so you're helping out my analytics, but you are taking away your beautiful intro from me, which I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do then. So
that's how it goes, right?
But anyway, Con, how do we know what game I'm playing?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I'll just flash the text on the screen right now. Maybe I won't. You'll never know. You'll never know what I do.
It's up to Future Con.
Yeah, Future Con will figure it out, and you won't know because I won't tell you until after I publish. So,
right,
you know.
and I tend to publish before you because
I know. So
yeah,
this says you're screwed. Absolutely. What today, Heist? By the way,
doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. What are we doing? Oh, sorry. This is all about you, isn't it?
How you're doing? Does anybody? Does really like that's?
Does anyone care? Probably not. It's fine.
No.
Today we have lots of iron products, and we need to go grab them with the choo-choo. And it's a 2% grade, 2% climb out of the smelter, and it's a long 2% climb. And we've got
the whole thing is
the whole thing is 2%.
Any tonnage math at all? Did you check, or did we?
I did do a little quick math before we started. So Montezuma weighs 25,000 pounds, just the engine. The tender weighs 8,000.
Fill up on wood.
That's actually, that's actually probably a really good idea. If I can stop vaguely near the wood platform now that we've done that. Life's hard. Come on. Hey, look, close enough. It's fine. That's actually a really quick stop, but cars are unloaded. So Montezuma weighs 25,000 pounds. Tender weighs 8,000 pounds, so total 33,000 pounds. She's got 3,650 pounds attractive effort, which means that on our 2% grade, she's good for 119,000 pounds.
That's not enough.
That's not enough. So we got 8 flats, and the flats I want to say are like roughly 9,000 a piece. So the empty train on the 2% is going to be 72,000. So we're really going to be able to afford, if we have all these cars, like 50,000 pounds worth of weight. Yeah, and I don't remember how much.
These are like 18. I want to say 18,000 per car loaded, maybe.
The raw iron is heavy. I remember that. And rails are even heavier, I think. So.
Yeah, well, rails are 10 per car. The raw iron's only 3.
Yeah.
So we're going to take the raw iron because obviously, it's what's more bang for the buck, I guess, right? All right, you're good to go. You got enough wood.
I want to say the rails are actually more profit dense per car, if my memory is serving right. But I don't think we have a full train worth of rails. Not that we could pull it if we did, but
Yeah, it's true. It's 10 rails per car. That would be 80 rails. I think we had like 30-something iron, I want to say down there. 30-something raw iron, maybe. Maybe
so
more.
Maybe just to make it easy, we load it all with raw iron. We bring it up, sell it at the freight depot, and hopefully we've got enough money for a new choo-choo for next time.
Yeah. I mean, I have, I think, like, a fair amount of money. I have $1,900 still somehow from stuff. I honestly don't remember what we've been doing, so...
Yeah, we've started to run iron, and iron ore is not that big, but I mean, it's like double the wood stuff, right? Because you bring a car of logs down, it's like $60 a car. You do beams, or you do the lumber itself, it's $72 a car. And cordwood, I think, is $80 a car or something like that. But the iron ore is $200 a car. So even just doing only 4 cars is doing a lot better.
Now, I was just loading at the logs there.
Yeah.
Right. Now, most stations, when you load a tender, I'm assuming they have a coal chute to load a tender. Like, they don't hand shovel tenders.
It depends. There were a lot of places that you had to hand shovel.
At your place?
No, we have this marvelous thing from the late 20th century called the backhoe.
Oh yeah, no, you just use a backhoe to load a tender.
Yeah, we've just got a Caterpillar backhoe that's.
What, you have a big pile of coal that gets dumped off by a dump truck or something?
Yeah, that's actually precisely what happens. We get about 21 imperial tons of coal-ish delivered every now and then. And the fun fact is we actually got coal delivered literally today. And we were almost out, and we have at the time of recording we had 4 more nights of Polar Express to finish out, and we were going to be burning the last of everything we had, and it was going to get close on the last night if we didn't get coal. So it was a miracle we got coal today. But yeah, we get a dump truck.
How do you just get coal? Like, there's a company you call? There's a mine?
There's a mine. Yeah, there's a mine that we work with, actually, and the hilarious thing is, it's the mine that the Rio Grande worked with. So the coal that our engines used to burn is from the Hesperus-based King Coal Mine, Hesperus, Colorado. The railroad used to run there, nearby Durango, and that is the coal that these engines have been burning since they were born, and that is the coal that they still burn. It's awesome that we still have the historic coal source for the engines, and it's what they like. We've tried a couple other different suppliers in the events like crazy snowstorms. That mine has to shut down sometimes, which is actually the reason we almost ran out of coal. But we've had to order coal from other places before, and the engines don't like it. They turn their nose up at it. They don't like it. They don't burn that well. It's oily. It plugs the flues. We had a time where 491, the big K37, which, 10 times the strength of the little Montezuma we have here, has 203 flues and tubes that run from the firebox to the smoke box. And every single one of them got completely plugged by the oily junk in that coal that didn't want to burn. It was really greasy and like tacky for some reason. And yeah, they didn't like it. So we had to clean out every single tube and flube from the firebox end after spending a day steaming up, not being able to get more than 7 PSI and wondering why with the blower valve wide open, we were hardly getting any smoke out the stack.
Is there anything to help? Like, I understand, like, once the smoke gets flowing out the stack, it creates a natural suction, which is going to pull more smoke in through the tubes and all that. Is there anything to help that process in the beginning? Or is it just like...
The blower valve that I was just talking about. So...
Right, but that's what, steam pressure pushing smoke or something?
It's steam pressure that's basically just dumping out the stack. It's just a pipe that ends below the stack, and it draws a vacuum, because the only place that's open is through the firebed. You go through everything else is closed off and sealed off. And so you have to do that. But our engines are equipped with ways to plumb air in, so we can use shop air from an air compressor to run the blower if we need to while we're firing up, which we don't try to do because that makes it run pretty quick and you heat the engine up too fast typically when you do that. Right. So, there's ways to get around that. But beyond that, no, there's not really any way to accelerate unless you have steam. Yeah. So back in the days of early coal loading, though, big locations would have what's called a coal tipple, which is basically like what you see at the coal mine or the iron ore mine in Railroads Online, where there's a chute and you pull the chain and the chute comes down and then it just gravity feeds coal terrifyingly fast and you hope you don't overflow it. And there's still a tipple that exists in the Rio Grande at the Cumbres and Toltec Scenic Railroad in Chama, New Mexico. Still exists, still stands. They don't use it because it's terrifying, and they also have a backhoe. So it's a lot easier to use, a couple scoops at a time from a big tractor bucket versus, a not necessarily as safe, scary piece of equipment to load up the coal. But a lot of the smaller locations were hand shoveled. There's a great story in Little Engines, Big Men about a pissed off dude that ran the coal dock, and he was in charge of the company's coal, and he was apparently a huge jerk, and he actually killed someone over stealing coal. So, casual railroad stuff back in the day.
That's kind of savage, to be perfectly honest. It's like
smidge. Yeah, like you took coal from my coal pile. It was my coal pile. I was the king of the coal pile.
I teleported to the smelter, by the way, just to get.
Oh, okay. I was looking around my train, wondering where you were.
Yeah, no, proper smelter here. You're gonna come in through the runoff line, drop your cars, hand them off to Betsy to do the shunting.
Oh, we're switching. We're switching for real.
Yeah, and then you can. I'm going to the head shunt.
Yes.
Called? The
head shunt or the drill track. Yeah.
Yeah, drill track. There you go. Anyway, so I'm going there, and then you still have to come into the smelter because you're still gonna have to hit up that turntable to turn yourself around.
Yeah, I'm definitely facing the wrong direction.
But Betsy doesn't have to turn around because it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you're switching. You just couple the cars whatever end,
also, because Betsy's a symmetrical, symmetrical engine. I don't think the turning is really that big a deal, you know what I mean?
No, it's not a big deal on a little tank engine like that. There were some neat comments on a recent episode talking about the angled cylinders on my my channel, where folks were actually talking about that typically being done for clearance of wayside objects in the early days when the loading gauge was really, really short and not wide, which is loading gauge being the fancy term that we use on the railroad for what will the train hit if we try to run the train through this area kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, it was interesting because for me, it was just one of those things where it's like the math. Yeah, it's like the math technically doesn't really do much in terms of force. It just changes, point of maximum
when it happens.
Force.
Yeah.
But it's not really. It doesn't really change the overall force. I mean, at the end of the day, the force on a train wheel is sinusoidal.
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to follow. And actually, I had a thought about that too. The pistons on a train, right?
Yes.
Can move independently because they're controlled with the same set of valve gear, but they could theoretically move independently. However, the axles are fixed. So the wheels are like the two arms on either side. Are they always in perfect sync, or do they fall out of sync? Like
they can never fall out of sync because the axle. I mean, you're pressed on. There's keys. Your piston stroke and piston movement and valve gear movement is not set by the steam. It's set by the boundary conditions of the wheel sets.
Right, going through all the gear and stuff.
Yeah, so if you were to twist an axle somehow in some godforsaken manner, yes, then you could have problems like that. But that's not really a thing. The only time I've ever heard of that being vaguely a problem, and it wasn't like a twisted axle or anything, but it was if a locomotive had a connecting rod fail or something fail where they had to take one connecting rod off for some reason.
Right.
Then they could end up having a distribution in force one way or another, and they could twist something or break something and lock the engine up.
It's interesting.
Hey, look, Betsy just spawned back in.
Oh, you keep getting Betsy not spawned?
I had that same problem. Betsy was invisible, and then you jumped in and started moving, and then she went, poof! Hello, I'm Betsy!
All right, well, you can follow me in. Betsy's going to do all the hard work here. We need another 060 here.
We really do. That 060 is a beast.
Betsy she's chugging along here. We're just gonna.
It's 8 cars.
We're gonna pull set her. Oh, that's right. This is braked at 100%. Wow, Betsy, you are actually a beast. Never mind.
Yeah, I set one brake so that
30% pushing through a full brake, like not even.
Dunk. I'm helping.
Didn't even care.
I helped. Okay.
All right, we're gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna speed up Betsy a little bit. Sorry, I'm just going to do the whole 30 cars pushing back, full throttle. No one's driving the train.
Good, good. I'm glad. That seems to be a good theme these days.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna run right in the gauge.
Is it necessary for your duty? I don't think it is.
Yeah, well, my shoelaces are untied. I gotta fling this switch, or else you're going onto the main line. And I hear there's a school trip coming.
Oh no!
A couple of.
Look at this plot armor. Look at the danger. Not a train load of kids.
We gotta push this all the way to the right, actually, into the iron loading area.
Yeah, it's our first iron products out the smelter. This is gonna be cool.
Yeah, this is very exciting. And then you have to go to the left after the train. So I'll catch Betsy going through here.
Okay, and then I'll line the switch and go for a spin.
Yeah, you got to spin, and then you can actually... no, and then I got to push all the way back out. Yeah, because I got to push the cars out.
Yeah, you got to get out ahead of me, so...
I don't know if Betsy... So Betsy's got to pull all 8 of these on flat ground is what's got to happen.
Yeah, she could probably do that.
Fully loaded.
It's flat. It's fine.
Flat.
It'll be fine. I promise Betsy can probably do that. Just not quickly.
You could even go fix up the Montezuma there in the engine shed while you're at it.
You could park her in the shed, do a little maintenance.
That needs to be a thing so bad where you have to repair engines, like just a natural wear over time, and you have to put them in an engine shed every so often.
Just to make it actually, rotate through equipment and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
That was
for engine sheds.
That was implemented in the precursor game, American Railroads, and so we know that QMA knows how to do it. It's probably just kind of low-hanging fruit, or low on his list.
High priority.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? This lane has enough space, I think, because it curves all the way back to that smelter.
Oh, do you think you can shove back and fit all 8 in there?
I think I can shove all 8 and do all 8 at once.
Well, you're out of my render distance, so I'll take your word for it.
I think I have more than enough room to shove back further than all 8. I could probably do like 14 cars, maybe.
Nice.
On the raw iron, maybe 14.
I'm using the physics glitch or it's not a physics glitch, but the visual glitch that everyone's been telling me to do anytime we use a turntable in the save. You can stand on the turntable and click on the pole.
Oh yeah, and just spin it.
And just spin it without having to move your camera and walk around.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
It's a lot more efficient and easy on the back too. It's nice.
If you do it on the side with the track too, where the track's going to line up, it's really easy to tell when you're in the right spot.
Yeah, gotta go do that. There we go. Yeah. That's this is a top tier gaming move, I think.
Okay, so hold on. If you're spinning the Zuma, then you have to wait until I go out first again.
Yes.
And then follow me out and then hook up to the back of this and drag it. You hear that?
Hear what?
Okay, so you don't hear Betsy's whistle.
No. If you're not rendered, I don't hear much.
That is unfortunate.
My render distance is not very far.
We should be able to just jack up your render distance to whatever we want and, like, you know,
suffer the FPS, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I got some horsepower in this rig.
Our computers can handle it. We'd be okay.
Right. We'd probably figure it out. It should be a user selectable thing, though. Really, I think
that's
that would be.
What I think. Yeah, just make it server based
good on quality of life. You know, if someone's got like 300 cars and a bunch of locomotives, because I've played on servers where dudes have that. Okay, yeah, maybe you want to make the sight distance really short, but
yeah,
when it's just us and we've got like a grand total of like 25 cars and 2 engines still, or 3 engines still, it's like, yeah, it would be nice to be able to see what you're doing, or see you spawn in while you're switching, so I don't run into you. What you umming about over here?
It's the math. Oh no, the math's perfect.
Okay.
We're gonna have exactly enough. You can pull forward. We're gonna have exactly enough raw iron. I thought we were gonna be short. We have exactly enough raw iron to fill this train.
Oh really?
We have 0 raw iron.
Oh, very nice.
And then we'll have a ton of rails.
Do rails next time, I guess.
Yeah. Well, rails, that would only get us 4 cars. It's 10 per car, right? So it's
almost 5.
Quarter car.
I'm braking.
I don't think Betsy's gonna stop in time.
I'm stopped. How's that?
Oh, how heavy is the load, by the way? Let's do a load check.
Looks like they're 9,000 pounds a piece.
Yeah, almost 10, 9,800.
So you got to figure maybe 20,000 per car-ish. So she should be good for maybe 6 of them, but not 8.
Well, yeah. So what's the plan here? Do we just, if you can't make it, we just use Betsy to shove it up? Like just...
We could do that. That could be interesting. Betsy's got
similar where she is now.
Similar tractive effort. Yeah, stick it on the back and then just be ready. I'd like to see how far Montezuma can get just for the fun, but have Betsy on standby.
Keep Betsy on the back and then push the rest.
I don't think we're worried about Betsy trying to split a flat car in half with all of its tremendous amount of power. So
it's either that or we got to go all the way to the helper station and pick up the Class 48, which...
going there is no longer a problem, but bringing the engine back is.
Well, yeah. The nice thing is, though, you can warp there, grab the engine, bring it, do the task, bring the engine back, and then warp back to wherever.
That's true.
It's kind of, it is nice in that sense. I had a bunch of people's comments where they were saying they feel like the warp is overpowered. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I understand because, someone said you could have a warp at every switch you have, for example. And it's like whenever you need a switch, you just warp there and, do your switch. And then warp back to your, wait for your train to show up and then jump on board and keep going or whatever, right? And it's like, I get that, but at the same point in time, people were using mods already to do that in the first place, so...
Yeah, Railroads Unextended lets you do that, yeah.
If you don't want to use the warp on your server, then just don't. I mean, that's how I would kind of look at it. Anyway, we're good to go.
All right, go Betsy, go. My thing about it is like, it might make sense to either charge for it to place the house, make it a paid structure, so that even if it's like $100, it limits how much you can spam it, right? Without making it so unattainable, or maybe make it priced by distance to the next house, or distance from the freight depot,
or price per use.
I was also
making $100 to use the teleporter, and then it's like, well.
I was also hoping that it was going to be a set up telegraph lines too, as like a detail object, And so you'd have to run telegraph lines along your railroad to connect the houses so that the next time, okay, I can place the house, but I have to do this extra task and kind of run the industry and area as it was originally before I get the reward of doing this way. So
Right.
I'm gonna hop out and give you Betsy. You've already got the Montezuma. Never mind. I guess I'll just be the helper then.
No, that's fine. We could swap.
I don't care.
I saw you were driving, so I just decided to. I can't actually do this because if I never mind, gotta stop.
What are you peeing in a cup
If I
back there?
accidentally hit the switch trigger point before you're off the switch,
Oh yeah, that would have been bad.
Flick it, and then we're gonna derail. So I just had to wait.
Look at you and your non-pee in cup senses tingling.
I know, right? That was the warning sensation. So this is how this industry, if this was a legitimate industry, this is how we would this is how they would do this to actually get the transport train back in front of everything and pulling it out. Like they would just.
Well, I mean, it depends on the exact setup. Like, I guess
my question is, have you seen a setup like this before in real life or something similar?
I have, and it just depends on if it was the railroad that switched out the industry or if it was the industry that switched out the industry. Like, a lot of industries have their own engines or they have their own car movers that are not like locomotives, but they're almost like forklifts on rails and kinds of things like that can move the cars around. And they have those so that they can switch things out and they don't have to wait on a train crew and a crew caller and all this stuff to make things happen. But either way, they leave them at one kind of uniform location where you've got an outbound track, inbound track, something like this, so that you can do the handoff. Or you hand off between the switch engine and then the road engine. Am I going up to the Zuma now?
Yeah, Zuma's yours, bro.
Okay, we did. Okay.
Oh, you're unconnected here at the back. Perfect. I think I left Zuma's reg on, so we're under a little bit of compression. You might have to flick that switch ahead of you too, the transport switch. Forgot about it.
It's fine. I'm gonna just put, it's 8 cars fully loaded, so I'm gonna put Montezuma in full power, notch 8, full power, everything, and I'm gonna run and grab the switch and wait for the 5 years for Montezuma to get to me.
Yeah, I was supposed to say you have no risk of this going wrong anywhere. I don't think I can set Betsy's reg low enough to stay below. 8%. That's your acceleration. It's like 8%.
8% on Betsy. Okay.
If I mean, that's 8%. It doesn't seem to go too fast. Maybe 11% now. You're picking up speed.
We are picking up speed. And all right, now I'm on the Zuma again.
We're back out onto the main.
Here we are. We got 8 loads in tow and a Betsy just behind.
This would be good if it works. I mean, it's all our iron, really. So
yeah, it should be a fair bit of money.
Exciting.
I feel like if you ever watch Top Gear or the Grand Tour, which as an automotive individual that you are, I would imagine you've probably seen.
Yeah, I've seen a fair amount of it. Yeah.
When they do the specials where they're on road trips and stuff, and then they've got the backup car that's like some sad car that stalks them that's a joke, and then they hope they don't wreck so they don't have to be in it. You're that vibe right now. I just don't want to end up with the Betsy.
I'm like more powerful than the main car.
I mean, not literally more powerful, but power to weight, and it's
you're actually pulling away from me now, though. I better go up to like 30% reg. 25. That sounds like a good number.
That's probably about right.
Oh, I don't have any firewood. LOL. Okay.
Oh, well, you don't need it. It's fine.
I have 22 firewood left in this, and I have no wood, so that's good. Good thing I built that fuel depot at the smelter to, stock up Betsy with fuel.
Well, worst case, when I stall, you can just come get some of mine. I can
steal fuel from you. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, yeah, I'm already slowing down.
Yeah, you're not going to I'm gaining on you now.
Yep.
It's good. I'm just going to let Betsy push into you and then steal wood from your tender and run it back up and down the train while...
That's probably the smartest move for the longevity of this.
All right, I'm at 50% now. I am pushed in. I'm at 100% now.
Send it. We're I can't tell if we're speeding up. We're maintaining speed, I think.
I think that's good enough, though.
Yeah, just hold it at a walk of 12 mile an hour.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna.
Are you taking my wood? Bro.
Yeah.
Well,
bro. You got that
Go
good
get
wood,
your own. We just loaded this thing up. Go get your own.
Well, mine's down there. I'm not going to make it back out of the train. Don't worry. I'll be back in a second here. I'm just going to throw all this down here. Perfect. It's like I'm not even moving when I jump the other way, The train's like slower than walking speed.
Right.
Perfect.
I love it.
How's it going?
Oh, doing pretty good.
This must have happened a few times where like they have multiple engines, one of them runs
they had
out
to
of
steal
coal,
fuel from one.
and they steal fuel. Like, there's no way that hasn't happened.
That has to have happened. I haven't heard stories, but I'm sure that it's happened. And
someone was just like, "Uh-oh, we're out." Like,
fun fact for me. Well, actually, we did steal fuel from 20 for 491, but we weren't running. We knew that 20 wasn't going to run, and she was parked, so we shoveled her tender out and shoveled it in 491s recently in the great coal shortage. But fun fact that about me, the one recurring nightmare I have is running out of coal. I kid you not. I have had that nightmare so many times where it's like, I'm not at the museum, I'm at some railroad where we're running the engine super hard, and it's like, I look back in the tender and there's no coal, but there's just like random other junk in there, like piles of pipes and wood and parts and other things. It's just like, we need it, throw it all in the fire. Ah! I've had that nightmare at least like tens of times, dozens of times. I had it last week even. It's one of those weird recurring brain things. It's like, what are you worried about? Running out of coal.
so if you have an oil burner, right?
Yeah.
Your tender's full of water, and then they have an oil tank in the tender.
Yeah,
as well.
separate oil tank. Yep.
And how do they pump the oil?
It depends. Usually.
Did they use electric pumps back in that day?
No. So I mean, it's primarily gravity fed rather than actually pressure fed, but you have to have the right fuel consistency for that. And back in these days, the oil burners burnt what is called bunker C, which is a really fancy way to say this is almost grease. And so they had to have tank heaters plumbed in from the boiler actually to heat the tender tank so that the oil would flow, because it wouldn't flow at room temp. And then
and then what? It would
go down a pipe,
gravity line into the burner, and the burner's low enough that it would.
Yeah, the burner's lower than the bottom of the tender tank. There's no pump involved. Even if you have like no oil in the tank, just a very little amount of oil, you have enough gravity head to move that as pressure. So.
All right. Well, I think I've stolen enough wood here.
You'll keep Betsy stocked up for now, and we're not quite as bad off as we were, but getting kind of close. We still got some wood on the deck, so.
Well, it's all you.
Well, we're still going.
Let me know.
Did you just stopped?
Yeah.
Con, you're leaving.
Are you slowing down?
I've still got like 100 yards to go.
Are you gonna make it?
I think I'm gonna make it. Montezuma is slowing down.
I feel like I thought you had enough momentum there. You just make that.
I'm hoping, but this is hard.
This is our only smelter engine right now.
This train's heavy. You don't have anything to switch out. Why'd you leave?
She's got to go back to the smelter.
I thought we were friends. Why did you leave? You're leaving me to die on this hill.
Did you make it?
I'm almost making it. I'm slowing. I'm very slow. I can see the track leveling off. Oh God, this is gonna be close.
I'm gonna put it in reverse.
You might want to protect it. The engine's just about off the grade.
Yeah, but that's.
I'm sighting it in first person.
Your load on the grade is still gonna cause you the problem.
Yeah, I need to get all the cars off the grade.
Yeah, I'm coming. I thought it was close enough. It was not.
It's so no. It might work.
I'm coming.
It's so close, Con.
I'm coming. That's so funny.
It's so close. I haven't stopped. I've got a couple cars off the hill.
We need a much bigger road engine.
We do.
Yeah.
Con, I think I'm speeding up. I think I've made it.
If you make me come all the way back here, just
go back to the smelter now. Go back to. I don't need you. Go back to the smelter.
No, Betsy's coming all the way back.
No. You're the smelter engine. We only have the one smelter engine. Go back to the smelter.
We'll tow her down. We'll bring her down as a tow. Yeah, too late. You ruined it, Heist. You ruined it. It was gonna be flawless. It was gonna be smooth.
Last episode, we were going on YouTube dates, and this episode, we sound like a married couple, apparently.
Well, the problem is you were worried. You were too worried about running out of coal.
I was too worried about running. I don't have any coal, Con. I ran out of coal. I've only got wood.
I'm so concerned about running out of coal, and then you forgot that maybe Con did all the math in his head without any of us knowing.
Apparently, you just had it figured out. I can't tell if you're chasing me or not
Like
because you're out of render distance still. So
No, I'm chasing you, but I have little bitty drivers, so I'm not gonna go very quick.
little itty bitty wheels. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that. We're gonna have to talk
That was
about this.
well played, sir. That was very well timed.
I can't believe that you made it, to be honest. But anyway, wow.
I'll take it. I'll take
Now
it.
the track's just empty. No idea where Heist is. Nothing. Just
You know, do the thing. Did you end up going the wrong way or something? Get
No,
lost?
I'm just I'm just cruising along, 25% reg, because it doesn't make a difference if I go 100 or 20.
Yeah. Which is
It's the same.
that's how that works. It's fine.
Well, in real life, if you're not pulling load, how would that work? Is it like reverse? If you have your Johnson bar at 100% forward, let's say,
Okay.
right, and you put your reg at 100% versus 20%, is it a faster piston speed, or is it just
You're gonna be doing a burnout. You're gonna slip
gonna put
super
down-
hard. Yeah.
because it's too much power?
Yeah, it's too much power. As soon as you overcome the friction and the weight of the load behind you, which if you have no load is very low, yeah, you're doing a burnout. And
But
believe
if
me,
your reverser's at, like, if your Johnson bar's at 100%, no matter what your reverser's at, assuming you're not sliding, you're gonna get the same max speed out of it. Like if
Yeah,
you're 5% with no load.
you will ultimately, the throttle is how fast you're sending steam, what the flow rate of steam to the steam chest is. And then the Johnson bar is setting how long that steam is being admitted to the piston itself. So if
Right.
your Johnson bar is all the way forward, 100%, you're actually admitting steam for 85% of the stroke. That's where 85% comes in, because you have to start cushioning the piston on the backside, or you have to cut the steam supply off at some point in order to make sure you're exhausting and not interfering with the next stroke. It's not like a car where you can have something right before top dead center, right?
It strokes in both directions, regardless if you're going forward or backwards? Or is it only
Correct.
one
Yeah,
direction?
you have both directions out of both pistons all the time.
It's just different timing.
Yeah, just one side versus the other. So 85% of the time, if the bar is all the way forward, 85% of the time, the piston's under power. And so if you have enough throttle to saturate the piston with boiler pressure, that's that. Like, you have moments at the museum or when we're running where you'll have the throttle partway open and you'll have the bar decently hooked up, but you'll go for more throttle, and then the lever is really easy to move because the pressure is equalized and balanced, and you can't get any more because you're already saturating the steam chest with boiler pressure. And so we always say, oh yeah, it hands you the throttle, because you just try and pull the bar, pull the throttle bar back and nothing happens, and you're limited by the Johnson bar because you're not.
How was that? How was that stopping working out for you?
Poorly.
Yeah, I need to sell that stuff, by the way.
Yep. And
I
I'm
have
stopped.
Majority of the Muna.
You do. You are the money
Money.
holder, Mr. Moneybags.
I am very rich with my $1,900.
Hey man, that was a lot of money back in the day.
Well, good news is we brought Betsy up, so
Well, hey, there you are. Look at that. You could have
no
teleported. You didn't have to take an engine. I'm not sure why you're here.
Well, I had to take the engine because someone had to push you up, and
Not the whole way. You could have left and gone back down the hill once we got most of the way up. It would have been more efficient that way.
No, true. I could have done that.
Yeah.
Imagine I had done that, and then the other guy didn't call me on the radio, all panicked, like, "Hey man, I'm gonna not make it," and I'm gonna run out of coal.
I'm not sure what you're on about. That sounds.
I have nightmares about normal things like failing exams, because that's
that's the thing that you have as engineers.
That's normal things, I'm gonna fail this exam I have tomorrow because I haven't studied for it. And it's
No,
like, wait, I'm not
running
in
out of
university
coal.
anymore.
That's the nightmare. That's the real engineer's nightmare. Running out of coal.
That
Come
only
on.
made us $400.
Are you kidding me?
$1,900 to $2,350.
Are you
$450
Are you serious? Is raw iron that cheap?
for 6 cars of raw iron.
Man, maybe it's the rails.
There's no way that's
the
right.
win.
Is that right?
Press the button again. Because if you press the button,
it's $25 per raw iron piece.
oh, so it's $75 a car, so it's marginally better than the lumber, and we need 2 engines to run
marginally
it.
better than lumber, even though it takes us all the way to iron. So we have $2,500 exactly, and the Glenbrook costs, if we want to get a Glenbrook in our next video, $3,100. We gotta run one more train.
I guess we're gonna run some more choo-choos.
Yeah, we're gonna go run another train.
Yep.
We'll just go do that mad quick.
Well, hey, the banter was fun. The trains were fun. And I can't believe that we actually made that up. and you cut off like at the perfect time. You had like maybe 5 seconds earlier you could have done it, and it still wouldn't have stalled. Maybe, but it was close. That was cool.
You need to trust the master, young Padawan, and trust that it was a complete blind glass. That was really but hey, we're gonna go run another couple trains of like lumber or something. I don't know, whatever. We'll run something.
We'll make some money.
Glenbrook.
And next time we'll show it off. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, next time we'll go run some cordwood, I guess, because we need more cordwood at this point.
Always cordwood. Always, literally always cordwood. That's the secret.
Yeah, cordwood's a problem. But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you check out Heist's channel, link in the description, and like, subscribe. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.